If there's one film that I quote on a daily basis, a film that formed me into the man I am today, it's this movie. The Aristocats is up there with a few other films that was just my jam as a kid. A film that I would watch on repeat, and every time, it brings me just pure joy. And The Aristocats is kind of a forgotten movie when it comes to Disney films. Sure, it's not the most recent film, given that it came out in 1970, but a lot of people have either not seen it, or it ranks quite low in terms of their Disney category. And while sure, the film isn't breaking any barriers with serious content, but the film is increasingly entertaining, and it is one of the most laugh-out-loud and funny Disney movies there is. Hi there, it's me, the Average Critic. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you like animation as much as I do, and let's talk about the Aristocats, a type of movie that I miss. So the film starts out with a lovely French-styled song as it plays over the opening credits, giving me the old style of Disney. There's no introduction to the world or some form of exposition, it just starts with our characters on their way home. And given how the characters are posh aristocrats, there's this lovely sense of warmth you get from these characters. It all feels safe. Whereas other films start with a bellow of an African call of something like The Lion King, or the mysterious Arabian Nights from Aladdin, which sets up the world with a bang. The Aristocats, it feels neat and safe. All the characters are prim and proper, and they ease you into it. So already, the film feels very different to most Disney films before and after. We're not given much of a backstory into any of the characters, but the characters are so charming and entertaining that you kinda don't care. Duchess is this prim mother who is trying to teach her children to be prim and proper. The kittens act like kids, as kids would. And Edgar is this highly animated, old-fashioned butler. And while we're talking about it, let's talk about Edgar, who is the film's villain, but also is one of the most entertaining villains in Disney history. You see, he isn't memorable for his evil demeanor like Scar, or even an amazing villain song like Ursula. In fact, he has none of these things. Edgar's only motivation is money, which is a pretty easy and boring motivation for a villain to have. But the character is written as a comedic role, very similar to something straight out of a Carry On movie. Edgar is still prim and proper himself, his design from his long legs, big nose, and large belly giving him this larger-than-life kind of look. If you're taking Edgar seriously as a villain, you're not watching the film properly. The way his hat bounces up and down as he rides his motorcycle, and the way he hilariously rides away from the police station. To put it short, Edgar is a clown. I never thought that I would actually quote Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons.
Free comedy tip, Slick. The pie gag's only funny when the saps got dignity. Like that guy. Hey, Hal, pie job for Lord Autumnbottom there.
Oh dear.
But you see, that's Edgar as a whole. You see, Edgar is the butt of the jokes. It works because he has dignity. He's dressed up, he's well-spoken, he holds himself with elegance. So when things like this happen...
Nice doggy, you'll roll over play.
It's one of the funniest things ever. Which brings me to the rest of the cast, which this film has plenty of. The film is filled to the brim with a wide range of cast of characters, starting out with the most suave Disney character ever, that is Thomas O'Malley. This cat is the definition of Riz.
Ooh, why your eyes are like sapphires sparkling so bright. They make the morning radiant and light.
Coming into the screen with a song introducing himself, the amazing Phil Harris once again basically plays himself. But he does it so wonderfully. I know there's a thing out there about hot or not characters in Disney, and occasionally an animal gets in. I know there's some people out there who find Simba and Nala hot. But if by God, if no one is thinking about J. Thomas O'Malley, then that's not a world I want to live in. Also, can we talk about the fact that Thomas O'Malley saw Duchess have 3 kids and didn't hightail the hell out of there? That right there is top guy territory. But even the smaller characters in this movie who don't serve much of a purpose make you laugh at a moment's notice. Whether it's the stereotypical British geese of Amelia and Abigail Gabble, or Napoleon and Lafayette who give the film's most amazing moments.
You go for the tires, and I'll go right for the seat of the problem.
How come you always grab a tender part for yourself?
'Cause I outrank you, that's why.
But all the small characters we meet along the way, while they don't serve much of a purpose, they mean to entertain you. And entertain you, they do through their characters. The geese are this whimsical sense of very British proper and snotty terrible jokes that make the characters really stand out. Napoleon and Lafayette feel like they stepped out of a comedy Civil War movie. Their back and forth with each other is incredible, and you really understand this relationship even though they don't have much screen time. Every character fills this film with a joke at every corner. It seems like everything that gets said gets turned into a joke.
May I give you a hand, sir?
You haven't got an extra foot, have you, Edgar?
We're twin sisters. You might say we're related.
Oh, that's mess call.
Made a mess of it, huh?
You
All right, blow it. Boy, he blew it.
This type of humor is incredibly quick, and I think due to the fact that it's a very dry, styled humor, it goes very well with my British brain. And that's what this film is trying to be, a comedy. Everything from the cast of characters, even to the sound effects they use. There are plenty of time when the film uses sound effects stripped right from a cartoon. And I know it's a Disney movie, but even the laws of physics are broken at times. I mean, you can just look at that and tell the tone that this film is going for. Even when the cats are left under the bridge and the stakes have risen, they are met with another beautiful day in France and they go about their happy way of getting back home. There's never any big stakes because there doesn't need to be. The film wants you to relax and have fun. But the film is so reminiscent of films like the Carry On franchise or the Road To films. This type of style is very much lost when it comes to Disney, and it really represents the style that Walt Disney himself really liked. Sure, we love our new Disney films with heartfelt moments and themes, but the classic animation comedy is left to films being done by bad films like the Minions or the Trolls franchise, where it's all just made for kids. But the Aristocats was a film that is funny for kids and still funny as an adult, because of the films it was inspired by. This humor makes people of all ages laugh through incredible characters and caricature. There's a lot to be said about comedies in animation, and even more about comedies in general. This dying age of comedy films that have very much died in the mid-2000s. Animation has always been funny, but it naturally backed itself up by having some powerful musical numbers and serious stories. Comedy films really peaked in the 90s, with great films, and it slowly died. But considering how the Aristocats came out in 1970, and it still holds up to this day, is a true test of how comedy really works in animation. I don't know if we'll ever get the next Ace Ventura or the next Rush Hour film franchise, but I know that comedy easily lives on in our animation films. And of course, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how much I adore more adult themes and tones in animation. But sometimes, by God, I want the comedy to just shine through and make me laugh and feel good. And that's what this film does. It may not break any boundaries, but it sure as hell makes me laugh. So after all that, it's getting my professional rating of 7 out of 10. And my personal rating of 9 out of 10. This film holds a very special place in my heart, and it really captures my idea of dignity above all else, and keeping things fun and feel good. And so, well, I guess that's the end of this video.
Wait a minute, I'm the leader. I'll say when it's the end. It's the end.
Hey, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please watch the one being recommended for you on screen, as YouTube actually says you will like it, and who are we to argue with YouTube? If you enjoyed my videos, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more great content on all things animation. I do weekly content, and the best way to check out all my new videos is to hit that little bell, and make sure you follow me on all my social media stuff if you want to know more. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching me, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.